for you to dominate the way you did, because a lot of people had that like a pick 'em fight. Like a lot of people didn't know how to call it, but you just ran that fight. The way you controlled, the way you switched things up, the way you controlled the pace of the fight, the defense, your defense was on point. Those hooks that you were landing in close were magnificent.
You know, he said that he ruined his career with that. Maybe he's blaming that for his loss against Crawford. I don't know, but he accomplished a lot.
Joe Rogan embarrassed Errol Spence by showing only deep respect for Terence Crawford's amazing display, calling the fight outstanding and excellent. Rogan talked about how Crawford completely took control in one of the most viewed boxing matches in recent times. He noted how even casual viewers tuned in and saw Crawford prove he's without a doubt the top fighter in the world. With sincere admiration in his tone, Rogan clearly said Crawford's talent is unmatched. Without directly criticizing Spence, Rogan's praise for Crawford alone was strong enough to bury any past disrespect. It was a quiet but firm way of lowering Spence's standing while raising Crawford to legendary heights.
Cracker of the year, that's right.
Yeah, I try to use X as a good platform to bring laughter, bringing humor back and comedy, making people feel good.
Well, you can get wild.
Yeah, I get a little wild sometimes.
You can get wild on X.
Yeah, you could get a little wild on X, but I try to.
Joe Rogan clearly pointed out the gap between Errol Spence and Terence Crawford in a way that ended all debate. He said while Spence is a strong fighter, Crawford is a legend, proving that there are different levels in boxing, and Crawford is at the top. Rogan said it was impressive to see a top boxer like Spence face someone performing on a whole new level. When he called Crawford King of the Mountain, it was a bold statement showing just how great Crawford's win was. Rogan didn't insult Spence. He just praised Crawford so much that the difference was obvious. By focusing on Crawford's success and talent, Rogan calmly shut down all critics. It was a smooth way of giving Crawford credit while making Spence's complaints meaningless.
Well, the wise people picked you as a favorite, just based on your accomplishments. It's not like Errol Spence wasn't a great fighter. He's a great fighter, but it's so interesting when you watch a great fighter against what I believe is an all-time great. It's just that there's just levels upon levels upon levels upon levels. And right now, you're at the top of the mountain.
yes. And I'm enjoying it.
Beautiful. You deserve it. That's when you planned for that fight, you knew that you were probably going to fight him. Like for the last few years, it was something that was on the table.
But not really. There was a point in time where I was like, I shifted gears and I shifted my mind off of Errol Spence because I didn't feel like the fight was going to happen.
Errol Spence keeps talking, like Terence Crawford hasn't already proven he's great, suggesting Crawford must face big names like Canelo Alvarez to truly earn it. Spence is acting like Crawford still needs to prove something, almost ignoring the fact that Crawford completely beat him. Spence saying he'll only do a rematch if Crawford fights Canelo first makes it sound like Crawford hasn't reached the top yet. It seems like Spence is changing the rules. Before the fight, Crawford was the man Spence had to beat to be the best. Now it looks like Spence is trying to avoid admitting how badly he lost. Instead of recognizing Crawford's greatness, Spence talks about future tests, when really, the only one chasing greatness now is Spence.
It could happen. Why not? If Crawford want to challenge himself to be great, let him try to be great, so, I'm with it. So, I'll be going for Bud, if he fight Canelo, I'll be going for him. I don't know if he's gonna win or lose, but I definitely be going for Crawford. I think if anybody can pull it off, he can pull it off. He's chasing greatness, so why not? Canelo came up to 175 and all that, and fought Kovalev and fought the other guy too. So if he can do it, and he started at 147. So if he's doing it, why can't Crawford do it?
Mikey Garcia's remarks about Errol Spence's drinking habits raised big concerns about how serious Spence is about boxing. Garcia clearly said that any fighter who wants to be their best must treat their body right. No drinking, no wild nights. He stressed that without total focus, a boxer holds themselves back. Spence's issues with alcohol have been known, especially after his 2019 crash from drunk driving. People wondered if he could ever fight the same again. Even though he returned and won matches, there were always doubts about how his choices would affect his boxing career. Now, after his big loss to Terence Crawford, it seems Spence is starting to admit that drinking might have played a part in his defeat.
I was never drinking. I was never out there. You gotta take care of your body. You gotta be healthy. You gotta fucking train. You gotta be eating right. No alcohol, no drugs. Yeah, I agree with all that. We always tell all the fighters, when you're fighting, you gotta fucking be dedicated. Can't be staying up late, partying, fucking drinking. No, you gotta dedicate yourself, bro. If you don't dedicate yourself like that, then you're only limiting your abilities. You're limiting your growth. You're limiting your potential.
And your window of opportunity.
Yeah. So you gotta take advantage while you're there. Dedicate 100%. So I agree with all that. Now, I don't know what's going on with him. He said that he ruined his career with that.
Garcia says Spence has done a lot in his career, but if Spence now claims drinking ruined it, it shows he knows the harm he caused himself. If he drank before fights or during training breaks, it might explain why he didn't perform well against Crawford. His speed, sharpness, and stamina were missing, and if drinking was involved, then he's only got himself to blame. Spence's biggest enemy might not have been Crawford. It might have been his own poor choices and lack of discipline.
What's going on with him? He said that he ruined his career with that. Maybe he's blaming that for his loss against Crawford. I don't know, but he accomplished a lot prior to that.
Right.
So I don't know how much
meant it as
more.
The drinking was like a factor.
Or maybe now he just realized that, hey, it's not fucking good. I was drinking a lot, before the fights, or in between fights, or maybe after the fight, after the Crawford fight, I've been drinking way too much. I ignored my responsibility. Maybe, I don't know. I'm just spitballing.
Roy Jones Jr. praises Terence Crawford's outstanding boxing abilities, saying he's a true champion with top-level skills in many areas. He points out Crawford's flexibility, especially how he smoothly switches between fighting styles and his smart thinking in the ring. Jones believes Crawford could go up in weight, maybe even face Canelo Alvarez because he's already proven how great he is. But when it comes to a rematch with Spence, Jones stresses that Spence needs to fully recover, physically first. He says Spence should deal with his weight problems and other issues before stepping back in the ring. Jumping into another fight too soon might ruin it. Jones thinks Crawford could keep going up in weight, with 154 pounds being his limit, or he could retire after a few more big wins. He's earned the right to choose when to stop. In the end, Jones sees Crawford as one of the best of this generation because of all he's achieved and the way he fights.
Do you do the rematch and then go for other fights, or do you think this is kind of like the cherry on top, and after this he should more or less retire on top?
Bud has two options. A, he can continue going up in weight, see how far he can go. I think he said already 54 is his max. Yeah. So he could campaign that going to 54, maybe doing a rematch, or like I said, let Errol get himself back together first when it makes more sense, then do a rematch. You understand me? So for me, to let Errol get himself together first, then do a rematch is much better. To fight him right now, it's not good because, like I said, just the weight gain was not the only problem. So,
in their first fight on July 29, 2023, Terence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. both made the 147-pound welterweight limit, with Spence at 147 lbs and Crawford at 146.75 lbs. Crawford won the match with a 9th-round TKO, becoming the first male fighter in the four-belt era to hold all titles in 2 weight classes. As for a rematch, Showtime's Steven Espinoza addressed weight concerns. He said weight shouldn't block the fight, but the fighter's health must come first. He questioned if Spence staying at 147 is smart, considering his past eye injury and car crash. Espinoza suggested 154 lbs might be better for Spence. Overall, he said while weight isn't always an issue, in this case, health and long-term career. Safety should be the focus when planning a second fight.
Is this true? Like, I read that Crawford can choose the weight. Is that accurate?
Not completely. Yeah. Not completely. I mean, there are some other parameters I don't want to get into, but weight shouldn't be, if there's a legitimate difference, one guy is legitimately going to 154, one guy is legitimately staying at 47, then, that's a reason a fight can't be made. But weight can't be used as an excuse and sort of say, I don't feel like it. Like, I'll go up for this guy, but not another guy. So, that's sort of the spirit. The language is very, more precise and very definitive. But the concept is, out of fairness, is, let's not be selective. There are some conditions in which, it wouldn't happen. I mean, weight is one thing. If they can't agree on weight, that's it. But money is set. All the other parameters are set. Weight is one of the few examples where that could be the obstacle.
Terence Crawford's total win over Errol Spence Jr. in their long-awaited fight proved he's one of the best fighters of this time. Spence, who was undefeated and had all the belts, was supposed to be a serious challenge, but Crawford's sharp and smart approach showed he could stay calm under pressure. His win earned him great respect from boxing experts and fans, putting him among the top names. But lately, Crawford's actions and words after the fight have made some people rethink how they see him. After the win, his comments and attitude brought criticism, especially since he didn't show respect to Spence and his team like many champs do. Instead of showing humility, Crawford seemed more focused on showing he's better. Some now think he's being cocky, and they feel his sportsmanship needs work. While his skill is unquestioned, the way he acts outside the ring is now being watched. People are asking if a true champ's image is based only on wins or also on how he behaves as a role model in the sport.
That's dope, man.
And I really appreciate you just being a regular dude who's very, 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 very skilled at something. I'm glad you're getting your flowers, and I hope the biggest of bags come your way in these next few years with how things play out for you, man.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks.
Because you earned,
bro.
You earned it, bro.
And you gave us, listen, entertainment. You know what I mean? From beginning to end, it was a real display. So we appreciate you taking time, bro.
Hey, I appreciate y'all having me, man. I appreciate it.
Before we go, how soon will we get the rematch? Do you know that calendar? You know how that calendar is going to play out?
Probably, if it happened, it'd probably be the end of this year.
That's soon.
The next, yeah.
Like a December situation, probably, something like that?
Yeah.
There you go. Right. Terence Bud Crawford, the undisputed welterweight champion of the world.
Nice Howard Cosell there, bro.
Errol Spence Jr.'s first fight with Terence Crawford on July 29, 2023, ended with Crawford winning big and taking the welterweight crown. While fans praised Crawford's performance, Spence paid a heavy price. During the match, Spence suffered serious damage, especially to his eye, which brought up worries about his condition. Combined with his past from a brutal car crash, he needed time to rest and heal. Because of this, the rematch many hoped for didn't happen right away. Crawford said he's open to fighting again, but only once Spence is fully healthy. Given how tough the first fight was, having Spence in top shape is crucial. Boxing fans are eager to see it happen because they wonder how Spence might perform at 100%. With Spence recovering, the second match could be closer and show both at their best. For now, fans must wait, but the excitement for a bigger and better rematch continues to grow.
The fact that Spence, right away, he's like, rematch 54, that tells me he can't make 47 anymore. He doesn't care about the titles. He don't care about undisputed. He's just trying to win at this point, and that just tells me there's no chance that he's making 47 because he didn't even care about the titles anymore. We just said rematch 154. Let's do it. Like, he didn't mention undisputed. He didn't mention championships. He didn't mention like Canelo. I know Canelo said, hey, he beat me at 75. I want to beat him at 75. Spence was like, fuck that. 54, So yeah, that tells me a lot. But not surprised. I am surprised it's in December. I don't know if that's accurate or true, or if that's actually going to happen. But I don't think that's enough time for Spence to recover.
While most boxing fans are excited about a second Crawford versus Spence fight, some think it might not be best, especially for Spence. After their first match, where Crawford clearly won, Spence's career took a hard hit, both physically and emotionally. The harsh beating he took made people worry about his safety, especially since he already went through a major car crash. The eye injury from the fight made many wonder if he should keep fighting at this level. Critics worry another match could hurt him more or damage his career. Boxing is a dangerous sport, and repeated hits can have long-term effects, especially for someone like Spence who's already been through a lot. Since the first fight wasn't close, A rematch might just add more risk and not much benefit. Some also say if Spence isn't ready, the second fight could ruin both fighters' reputations. So even though people want the rematch, it's important that both are fully prepared. The choice will depend on Spence's recovery, and if both teams think it's the right time.
Crawford getting him up out of here one more time.
Why do we want to see that? I mean, that's I think it's bad for boxing. If he does the same thing again, he puts it on Spence again like that. I mean, you almost ruin it could almost ruin a career. You taking two things like that.
Brutal beatdowns.
Yeah.
I can see that.
You know what I mean?
Spence doesn't want that work again.